How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I own one shirt, and it's all I wear. Today I wanted to do something a little, I guess it's not really different. I had done a Blu-ray collection, like complete collection, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago at this point on my regular channel. So I decided I wanted to show off all my TV shows and documentaries, which is obviously a lot less than the complete collection itself. But I wanted to specifically hone in on the TV shows, and mostly also because I really need to dust off the area that they're in. So I figured it'd be the perfect time to take them out of the shelf, show them off, dust off, put them back, move on with my fucking life. So, without much further ado, why don't we just go? Oh my god, dude, I really have not dusted these in a long time. So yeah, these are a lot of TV shows, mostly some documentaries in here that I have. I desperately tried to find all the documentaries and shows in my collection. The shows I have specific together. The documentaries, depending on what kind of release they are, they're in separate spots. So I tried to look through and find everything. So hopefully I didn't miss anything. But without further ado, why don't we go ahead and grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, so first off here we have the Dick Van Dyke Show Complete Collection. 158 episodes of Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore goodness. Absolutely love this show, love Dick. So stupid. It's just a fantastic little sitcom from back in the day. Next up we have Fargo seasons 1 and 2. I think I've seen 3. These are the 2 that kind of stuck with me, though, that I thought were very good. Season 1 is absolutely fantastic. Billy Bob Thornton, Colin Hanks, Martin Freeman. I just think that one's very good. Season 2 is also pretty good. It's got real-life couple Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons together. I don't know, I kind of like these anthology TV series where each season's a little bit different from the last one. Just kind of tells a whole story within a season. But these are 2 pretty good seasons of television that I thoroughly enjoyed. Next up, the complete Dragon Ball Z collection, all 291 fucking episodes. There's a lot to get through, but I really enjoy this series. It's crazy, over the top, absolutely mad. I don't know, you could probably cut off like half the seasons in this with all the recapping and build up, but I think that also adds to the story and shows the scale of it. I don't know, it's a daunting task to try and get through all these, but it's a pretty fantastic series if you're into anime at all. And I'm sure I'm not anybody that's seen it, they're just like, yeah, we know, we get it. But for anybody that hasn't, check them out if you're into anime. Alright, I got some documentaries. The first few here are from the Criterion Collection. Showa. 9 hours of interviews about the Holocaust. Yeah. That's it. There's no footage of any of the camps. There's no footage of anybody being killed. It's all just straight up interviews from survivors, from the Nazis, people that lived in the villages that didn't help. It's mad. I mean, it's truly like a masterful documentary. And if you have the time, you can almost treat it like a TV series, like I did, where you watch it and just in spurts. You watch as much as you can, move on to something else, come back to it. It's distressing, but essential viewing. Next up here, maybe one of my favorite documentaries, one of maybe the best documentaries ever made, Hoop Dreams. God damn it, I love this one. It just tells the story of 2 boys from inner city Chicago who play basketball. They're trying to make it. It goes through all the trials and tribulations of their life. It's filmed over the span of 5 years, so you see them grow, you see their careers and how they try and take off and go to college, make it in school. They've got issues at home. There's all these different things. It's truly like one of the best documentaries ever made. It's almost like the Boyhood of documentaries as you watch these guys grow up. And spoiler alert, things don't go well in the end. And I kind of love that. Not for these guys, but as for the whole story. It's interesting how things, it's life. Life is not always happy. It doesn't always have a happy ending, and I think that's one of the main points of this. But it's one of the easiest 3-hour watches. truly fantastic. Another Criterion, the Kennedy films. This is kind of the series of documentaries that really, like, if you watch a documentary nowadays, it's because of these. This one kind of started the whole idea of following your subject behind the scenes, the camera up close and personal in like real life moments. There's only 4 of these, but they're all pretty short in length. But yeah, very instrumental in nowadays documentary style. Yeah, it's just interesting to see behind the scenes one of the most revered and popular presidents, ever. F for Fake, directed by Orson Welles. You can definitely tell from this movie that I think Wes Anderson was a fan of this because, especially at the very beginning, the style is very similar. The way it's, the montage of it and the way it's shot and everything, but it's a pretty good documentary about forgery and trickery. I don't know, it's just genuinely entertaining, but it tells the story of a world-renowned art forger and just tells you, you don't know fact from fiction. You always got to be looking out, watching. It's very inventive for its time, and it's another documentary that I think inspired a lot of documentaries of today. Another Criterion here, When We Were Kings. This is about the rumble in the jungle, behind the scenes of that with Muhammad Ali. And it says here, when the main event was delayed, extending Ali's stay in Africa, the director, Leon Gast, wound up amassing a treasure trove of footage, observing the wildly charismatic athlete. Another one of those behind-the-scenes things where you see a person for who they really are, not their public figure, because Muhammad Ali was one of those figures that was very controversial and not liked because he was very cocky, but behind the scenes, he was a very different person. Apollo 11, talked about this a couple times, but it's a fantastic documentary about Apollo 11 and the astronauts that went to space. And like I said before, the footage in this is fucking astounding. Like, some of the best footage I've ever seen, especially of a source that's 50 years old. Incredible. I put this one in here because it's technically a documentary, American Animals. It's a movie with it's very unique, very strange. It is a movie, but in between parts of the movie you have the real life people involved in this scenario talking about it. So it's very intense. I kind of really love this movie, documentary, whatever you want to call it. But Evan Peters is in it as the main guy, along with Barry Keoghan, and it's just so uniquely made. I want everybody to check this out because it's just so well crafted, and the way it's portrayed and the way it's done is terrific and so unique. You've never seen anything like it. Woodstock. I mean, if you love music, you have to watch this. Essential viewing for any music lover. It just tells the story of the first Woodstock, how it was, the inception of it, how it was created, building it up, the during. It's just great. One of the great music documentaries ever made. And it's like almost 4 hours long. It's just something to get lost in. Tim's Vermeer. This is, I love a bit of art. I love a bit of, painting, and I love going to art museums and seeing art. And I don't know, there's just something so enchanting about it. But I love this documentary. It's like so rewatchable. It's about this inventor named Tim who figures out that on a lot of these Vermeer paintings, they're so photorealistic that there had to have been, he thinks there's potential there was technology used to make these, which was almost like a mirror image with light. He was able to take the image, mirror it through some sort of system, and then he could see it and paint it. So this guy, this inventor that's never painted in his life, pulls off some of these. I mean, it looks like legitimate Vermeer artwork. It's absolutely crazy, incredible. I don't know, it's just a genuinely entertaining documentary. Check it out, please, I beg you. And then the last one, I think, here, West of Memphis. There's 3 other documentaries about this situation, Lost in Paradise, and this is almost like a documentary that takes all 3 of those and condenses them into one. But it's about these 3 guys that were accused of murder. It's your standard murder doc, your wrongful conviction sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's very good. I almost recommend watching the other 3 because there's a lot more to them. They're longer, and like I said, this is like a condensed version of all of it. So if you want the shorter condensed version, check this one out. But if not, go watch Paradise Lost. Alright, back to some TV shows. Big Little Lies with a ton of hot chicks. This is a show that you would not think I would enjoy. It's about fucking rich people that are kind of annoying, but it's like this, almost like American Beauty in the way where it's these people are protected by their rich lives and everybody thinks everything is so perfect, but behind the scenes it's all shit. But I really enjoy this show. Shailene Woodley, Zoe Kravitz, Laura Dern. There's a bunch of really good actresses in it. And I know they just came out with season 2 not long ago. I haven't seen it yet, but it's pretty good. One of the great shows, Breaking Bad. I don't think I really need to talk about this one at all. If you haven't seen it, watch it. And maybe at a certain point, one of the greatest TV shows ever, Game of Thrones. I've got seasons 1 through 7. Have not worked up the, I don't really want season 8 yet at the moment. So I've got 1 through 7. I mean, before season 8, one of the great television shows in all of television. You know, it's fucking amazing. Another of my favorite television shows, Boardwalk Empire. This is on Prime, so go check it out on there. Steve Buscemi playing a character you've never seen him play before. He's always like a weirdo. In this, he's like this intimidating Prohibition era alcohol smuggler. There's a lot of great characters in this show, and I love, as you're gonna see soon, I love period piece television. I think it's some of the best, and it's fucking incredible. I really think you should watch this show if you're into crime, if you're into, I don't know, great characters. All 12 seasons. All 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory. You know, I do like this show. It's a little cringy at times. The humor is kind of stupid, actually, but I've always enjoyed it ever since the first season. So it's kind of a tradition at this point. Not anymore because it's over, but I would just, every time the Blu-ray would go on sale, I'd pick it up, watch it, have a good time. It's just like it's like a mind-numbing, fun experience. You know, with all the negative shit I watch, this is one of those shows that kind of puts me in a good place, and you know, it makes me feel good. Weird to see it gone, but you know, at least I have all these I can go through. Oh my god, this is controversial. Louis, seasons 1 and 2. Something that you'll see with these FX shows, a lot of the times it came to the point where they would put out Blu-rays for some seasons and then put out DVDs for some seasons and then not release anything physical for some seasons. So these first 2 came out on Blu-ray, and then I think the 3rd season came out on DVD. So I haven't picked it up. But it's just a funny show. If you enjoy Louis C.K.'s humor, you'll enjoy this. It's kind of like the first episode is just kind of over the top and ridiculous, and it's fucking hilarious. You know, too bad the guy's kind of a perv, but I don't know. He'll probably come back at some point. Another FX series that did the same thing was Wilfred, Elijah Wood, about this hot girl moves in next door who's got a dog, but Elijah Wood sees the dog as a person in a dog suit while everybody else sees him as a dog. I remember when this show started, I watched the first episode and I was kind of hooked from there. It's just a really strange, oddball sort of show. It was originally in Australia, I want to say. And the guy who plays Wilfred, Jason Gann, he was part of the original series. I don't know, I really enjoy this show. It's goofy and funny, and it's just kind of my weird humor that I enjoy. And it also has Allison Mack in it. So if you want to get branded. This is a series that I was really into for a little while and kind of haven't gone back to since. Workaholics, seasons 1 through 4. You know, it's like a, you know, it's your typical stoner comedy, your stoner like frat boy sort of show, which may be why it kind of turned me off after a while. I don't know. That's just not my type of humor. But these first few seasons are pretty good, and yeah, I don't know. I've got no fucking opinions. Ooh, another documentary I forgot about. Probably the best World War II documentary you can find. The World at War. I mean, this is 28 hours? Oh, 36 hours. 36-hour documentary. You watch this and you'll never have another question about World War II again. And it's narrated by Laurence Olivier. But this is like a stunning documentary. Absolutely ridiculous. The only issue with it is they messed with the aspect ratio. I think instead of actually having an aspect ratio, it's zoomed in to full screen, so people didn't like that. I didn't really notice anything you're still getting the information. But it's 9 discs. Each they're all in different episodes, and each episode's about a certain thing. This is it. This is essential World War II documentary. Okay, some more historical TV shows, or like period piece shows. The Nick, Gone Too Soon. Clive Owen's in this, and it's about the Knickerbocker Hospital, and in the early 1900s. So obviously the medical knowledge was not there. This is also Steven Soderbergh who made this show, and Cliff Martinez did the music, which is incredible. This is just one of those shows that didn't get enough attention, and I really wish it had, because I love it. It's great acting, great performances, and it's sad. All the good stuff gets... Only the good die young. I guess I lied, because I'm still seeing a lot of documentaries here. So this next one, The Jinx, about Robert Durst. This is also made into a movie with Ryan Gosling. This is a truly horrific documentary. Everything is great until the very last shot. The end is people always talk about, oh, the ending was so crazy, but the ending to this documentary is fucked. It's fucked. So you gotta watch this. It's another one of those crime docs. It's fantastic, and that ending, whew. You'd think you were watching a TV show with it. Okay, another example of FX and their releases. So seasons 5, 6, 7, 8, and A Very Sunny Christmas on Blu-ray. Seasons 1 through 4, I think, were on DVD, and then seasons 9 through something were on DVD. And now I don't even think they're releasing them at all. So the ones on Blu-ray I do have. And God, I fucking love this show. Another one of those over-the-top shows, but it always deals with something that's going on in the time that it was made. It could be a show that is seen in bad taste, but I think because the characters are so stupid and they're so bad and so ridiculous, that it's so obvious that they're shitty, they're bad, that you almost give it a pass. And the Christmas special, I love it. Watch it every year. There's some hilarious stuff in this, and yeah, one of my favorite shows ever. Okay, some more period piece shows. The Terror. I've talked about this one before. I just wanted to know what he was looking at, and I was glad I did, because it's a very good show. Very mysterious, and not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but terrific acting from Jared Harris and others. Which, speaking of Jared Harris, Chernobyl. Fantastic show that came out last year. Both shows are kind of fucked, but this one especially, because it's real. If you have not seen Chernobyl, watch it. It's hard to stomach, but it's good. As well, Taboo with Tom Hardy. This is almost I don't know, this one's hard to explain, but there's some fantastic performances and characters in this. Tom Hardy, Una Chaplin, Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter, who is very attractive. Jonathan Pryce, Stephen Graham, the guy from Halloween, the new one, and then Jesse Buckley. Great cast. Great show. Please watch. Some anime here. Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Yeah, it's cool. It's goofy. It's Speed Racer. I mean, if you've seen the movie, that's basically this. They did a good representation of what the anime felt like. Attack on Titan, season 1 and 2. Love these. I've seen the movies and they're but these, it's one of those really hard to adapt sort of shows. So I don't know why they tried to make a movie. I mean, I do know why. Some more historical stuff. John Adams, it's not for everybody, but I don't know. I love history. I love learning about it. So Paul Giamatti gives a great performance, and there's a lot to love in this. If you enjoy history, Westworld, seasons 1 and 2. I thoroughly enjoyed the first season. The second season lost me a bit because it's starting to get to weird territory, but coming out with the third season soon, so we'll see where it goes. And it asks some pretty relevant and deep questions about who we are as humans, and we better be careful with the power that we have. Sharp Objects, Amy Adams. I mean, this is another one of those great limited series, I think is what you'd probably call it. It's a psychological drama. And it's a performance I've never seen Amy Adams give. And I've said it before, I was not a huge fan of hers, but seeing some more recent stuff of her, she's very good. And it's also based on the book by the writer of Gone Girl. So I don't know what that means, but I like Gone Girl and I like this. So another HBO limited series, The Night Of, with Riz Ahmed and John Turturro, kind of about racism and false imprisonment and what the prison system does to people. I mean, the arc of Riz Ahmed's character is kind of sad, kind of depressing. What happens to him? It says a lot. I don't know. The HBO stuff is almost always quality, so you almost can't go wrong. And this is one of those that is just primo. Speaking of HBO, The Newsroom, seasons 1 and 2. I don't think I've seen the third season, but these 2 seasons are, solid television. Jeff Daniels, it's he's an underrated actor. The way he's able to play in comedies, and then his character in this is a straight up douchebag. So he's one that doesn't get enough credit, but it's written by Aaron Sorkin, so you know what you're getting as far as dialogue. Good dialogue. All right, coming down to it here. Some more docs. Apocalypse, World War II. I can't get enough of it. It's just like one of the most genuinely interesting and shittiest time periods in our history. And this is one that it's more condensed, but it's also pretty awful. There's a lot of uncensored footage in this of, dead bodies and the ravage of the war. And this one stuck with me a little more just because of the subject matter of it and the footage in it. It's pretty devastating and pretty awful. So I think this one's cheap around. So if you don't want to splurge for the 36-hour one, I recommend you go for this one because this is a piece of work. I've got the 30 for 30 collector's edition, the first 30 for 30s. Sports docs, they're a good time to watch. It's always interesting to I don't know, learn about parts of sports I don't know anything about, things that I wasn't alive to see. There's a lot on here that is just not as good as the best ones. Like, for example, I think the best one on here is probably June 17th, 1994, which is about OJ and what was going on in the sports world at the same time that his chase was going on. So yeah, there's some very good ones in here, and there's some that aren't as good. But if you're a sports fan, pick this up. I think it's pretty cheap. Next up, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in concert. This is a collection of not only the past few years of inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the concerts that went with them, but also the 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is just a concert of some of the biggest bands and artists of all time. You've got your Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Bruce Springsteen. And what I kind of love about this is that it takes a lot of these songs by these artists and they bring in other artists to sing the songs. So for example, you've got Bruce Springsteen, E Street Band, but you got Tom Morello coming out and playing guitar with them, Bruce Springsteen, and then you get Billy Joel coming out and playing his songs with his band. Like this one, Paul Simon singing with Crosby and Nash. They're singing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. It's just cool seeing these artists play other things that aren't theirs. And if you're a fan of music, especially this type of music, you got to check this out. It's pretty awesome. Looks like one more anime here, Death Note. I can't really give my thoughts too much on this because I haven't watched this one yet. So far, seems pretty dark. Freaks and Geeks, one of those shows that was killed too early in its life. But because of that, it has a cult status, and I really enjoy it. Like it's just good high school TV show. It's got a lot of actors in this that went on to become big. Your Seth Rogen's, your James Franco's, Busy Phillips, Linda Cardellini. It's just one of those cult shows that is terrific, and a lot of people can relate to. One of the best documentaries I've ever seen, the Vietnam War. This is another one of those super long ones. This is 18 hours, but the content in it is fucking incredible. This is another one that's got a lot of hard to stomach stuff, a lot of hard to look at stuff. It really puts you in the time. It plays the music of the time. The footage is great. It's just one of those essential docs. It's a Ken Burns documentary, so what do you expect? You expect quality. And that's what this is. Season 1, Season 3 of True Detective. Skipped right over Season 2. Couldn't even finish it. But Season 1 is fantastic. And Season 3 is also fantastic. It's so good. You know, Mahershala Ali is the man. Wish I could hang out with that guy. He's so fucking cool. But, yeah. Season 3 is great. Season 1 is great. I hope I find another word some point other than great, but good luck. And then last, but certainly not least, maybe even best, this is like one of my favorites ever, Band of Brothers. Also with the Pacific, that is also very good, but Band of Brothers, these are some of the best series about World War II ever made. Band of Brothers is incredible. It's something I used to watch all the time with my dad, something he got me into. So it has a special place for me. And, Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg produced it. You know, they're usually always quality. Yeah, I recommend these series. I can't recommend them enough. If you haven't seen them, check them out because they're just so good. Oh my god. Well, that's it. All my TV series and documentaries that I can think of. I'm looking at my shelf now and I hope I didn't miss anything. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below some of the TV shows you enjoy, documentaries you enjoy, what you have in your collection, what you think of my collection. Oh, God. The dust. So much dust. Yeah, without further ado. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see like a complete collection, let me know. That would be a lot of work, but if you want to see an updated collection of everything I have, we can make that happen for sure. Yeah, so without further ado, I keep saying the same shit. I can't stop. I'm a one-track mind, I guess. Thank you guys, though, as always, for watching, and I'll see you next time.